All right, we are in medicinal herbology or medicinal herbs, and we're talking about the 5 botanicals and then tincture and fluid extract preparation. The herbs that we'll be covering in this section are from Linum to Brigham's tea, as depicted in these pictures here. The linum here, or flaxseed, is up in the upper, well, on the the left side of the screen there, where the arrow, you can see the arrow here, and then we have elderberry is next to that. You can see those nice deep blue berries. And then below there, we see on the left again, we see willow, and next to that is blue cohosh, and at the bottom is Brigham's tea. Now, linum, the master poultice herb. Linum usitissimum is its botanical name. It's found all over the United States. Part of the plant is used seeds, leaves, stems, and tops. It's also known as flaxseed. So linum, flaxseed, same thing. Or poultice seed, because it's made using number poultices, as you will find out. Time of year collected is August through October. That's the fall of the year. It's used against inflammations of the lungs, bronchi, thyroid, abdomen, old sores, boils, carbuncles, tumors, infections, coughs, asthma, and pleurisy. It can be used as a poultice or infusion. Its medicinal properties are as a pectoral, demulcent, and then emollient. Powerful, powerful herb. For old sores, boils, carbuncles, tumors, infections, we can use it as an infusion, standard infusion preparation methods, and the dosage would be a wine glass full 3 times a day. Okay. And then for coughs, asthma, pleurisy, those respiratory challenges, you can make it into a poultice. Standard poultice preparation method. In this case, this is the first poultice prepper, or what if one poultice method is to use or collect a 1/4 ounce of matured flaxseed, grind to a fine powder. Now, some people might put that in the blender, or maybe even something like the coffee seed blender. Add the and or to pound it with a mortar and pestle to a fine powder. But they add the fine powder to a pint of boiling water, and then you mix while adding to prevent lumps, because it will clump up, it will congeal, and then and apply that to the respiratory area in that case. Now, elderberry, you'll hear the elderberries get quite a reputation, and it's called the multi-purpose herb. Botanical name, Sambucus canadensis L, found all over the United States. We use the leaves, the bark, the flowers, okay, as well as the berries. Other names, American elder, pipe tree, boar tree. Time of the year collected, June, July, or September. Benefits weeping eczema, using the leaves there. Rust poisoning, so that's like poison ivy, poison oak, etc. Using the leaves to aid that. It promotes desquamation. The leaves for cardiac dropsy or weakness, the bark, renal dropsy or weakness, the bark, or wash for the inflamed eyes, flowers. Now the berries are used. You have elderberry syrup and some other things that aren't mentioned, particularly in this one, but is great for the immune system and particularly for viruses. It's a stimulant, carminative, alterative, diaphoretic, and diuretic. The medicinal uses and preparation for chilblains, bruises, sprains, indolent skin ulcers. Infusion, standard infusion, taken hot or cold by the wine glass full. And then here's an alternative benefit, is it as an insect repellent. And then if you were to be out in camping or something for emergency field use, you can mash the leaves and rub it on the face, or place bruised leaves under your hat. Now, what happens there? Okay. As you're putting these bruised leaves under your hat, it's emitting an odor that repels insects as well. Or you can steep the bruised leaves in olive oil for 7 days. Some other methods for this multi-purpose herb is an ointment for weeping eczema, rust poisoning, desquamation, for the heart, for the kidneys, for the eyes, etc. And then you can use 1 part by weight of the root to 10 parts by weight of alcohol. Macerate, which is soak for 14 days, strain, bottle, strain again, 1 to 20 drops for minimums 3 times a day. And that's the multi-purpose herb elderberry. Now, willow, the natural pain reliever. One time, on one of my radio broadcasts, I remember saying this particular herb came before aspirin. In fact, it's the foundation of what aspirin has come from. And its botanical name is Salix babylonica. It's found all over the United States. The part of the plant that's used is the bark. Sometimes you'll hear it named weeping willow, pussy willow, sandbar willow, black willow. The time of the year collected, March to October. Benefits malaria, periodicity, awkward word, leukorrhea, fever, headache, psychic and spastic dysuria, vaginitis, cuts, bruises, scratches, as an antiseptic, pain in inflamed joints, muscles, and nerves. It is an anodyne, a pain reliever, antiseptic, astringent, febrifuge, and tonic. Okay. So, but it's probably best known for relieving pain, even though it does so much more than that. And most people are seeing this weeping willow, these weeping willow trees. They're found in many places. Now, using it for malaria, leukorrhea, fever, and headache is a tincture, 10 to 30 drops 3 times a day, headache, fever, including intermittent fever, psychic and spastic dysuria for mental or physical causes, vaginitis as a douche. It can be used internally as a douche. Cuts, bruises, scratches. It can be applied externally as a antiseptic. Pain and inflamed joints, muscles, and nerves, similar to that medicine, that drug commonly known as aspirin. But we make this as a decoction as well. 1 ounce of green bark to 1 pint of water. Standard decoction, 2 fluid ounces 3 times a day. Okay. So again, that willow bark is the precursor, or what modern day aspirin was formed from. Blue cohosh, the papoose root. Caulifilum thalictroides is its botanical name. Squaw root, papoose roots. Now, and by the way, some of these, when you hear papoose root, squaw vine, these were typically taken from, borrowed from Native American herbology or Native American herbalism. Part of the plant that's used are the root and rhizomes. We're going underground this time. It's collected March to May and September to October. Similar to other roots and rhizomes, where we typically are collecting them in the spring or in the fall. when the energy is in those roots and rhizomes. Benefits: Partis preparatus, ovary pains, uterine subinvolution, vaginitis, leukorrhea, amenorrhea, dysmenorrhea, rheumatic conditions, neuralgia, relaxes cramps and spasms, metritis, high blood pressure, and palpitations of the heart, right? So it has benefits for different systems. For women's problems, for concerns, a variety of them, for pain, and even cardiac concerns. Medicinal properties: antispasmodic, stop spasms, parturient, with pregnancy, diaphoretic, emmenagogue, uterine tonic, blue cohosh to papoose root. For partis preparatus, ovary pains, uterine subinvolution, vaginitis, leukorrhea, amenorrhea, dysmenorrhea, infusion. Taking that tea 4 grams every 3 hours. Or rheumatic conditions, pains, neuralgia, cramps, spasm, high blood pressure, palpitations of the heart. Standard fluid extract, 8 minimums of drops every 4 hours. Powdered capsules, you can make this into powdered capsules as well. Dosage 2 every 3 hours, or 1 every 3 hours. And then we go to Brigham's tea, the pioneer herb. Ephedra. So if you've heard of ephedra, this is what they were referring to. Ephedra viridis. Found all over the United States. The green stems are what we're using. Miner's tea, Mexican tea, or ephedra. Time of year, collected all year round, wherever it's present. Of course, places where it's cold, it's not going to, you're not going to be able to collect it, but otherwise it couldn't be collected all year round. Tonic, stimulant, normalizing blood pressure. The medicinal properties are as a stimulant or as a tonic. And then typically we use the Brigham's tea as a decoction, 50 grams, generally comminuted or broken down plant material, 1,000 cc's cold water, workable, 1.5 ounces of plant to 1 quart of water. So this is more of a, in this case, they got more of a cold preparation. Okay, so those are those 5 herbs and their preparation methods. 5 powerful herbs to add into your repertoire.